So I got a question right off the bat.
Shoot me.
If someone has $10,000 in their savings account,
Mm-hmm.
how much money is the bank secretly making off of them while paying you pennies?
I want to guess. I've never worked in the banking industry, but I want to guess it's in excess of 4 or 5%. Yeah. So.
And you're not getting any of that.
No, you're getting like fractions of a penny. Yeah. 0.001% or some bullshit.
This is why people hate the banks.
Well, I don't think anybody knows any better. Well, I don't want to say anybody. There's a lot of people who know better, but I mean, the banking industry is the banking industry, and they have the lobbyists and the money and all that kind of stuff to keep the rules in their favor. That's why we're doing stable coins and cryptocurrency, and like there's so many people and groups that are wanting to put power back in the people's hands, because I mean, we are taxed and feed and we are just, for lack of a better words, I feel like the American people are just oppressed, regardless of how well you're doing. I mean, how many cries out there are tax the rich? There's people out there who are so upset that they want to tax the millionaires and billionaires, but you're not going to get the tax money. They're just so angry that they're just shouting stuff that doesn't really make sense. Like, it feels good to say that, but if you follow it down the path, it doesn't go back to the people, right? It goes back to the government, who's misspending and stealing, and right. Like, so what? I don't know. I just think that I think we're on the verge of the people having to come back and take a stand. And like I always say, what do we do, right? I'm always asked the question. So what do you do about that? You have to start with local politics. You have to start getting involved in your local politics. Your mayor, your appointed officials, your town committees. Get involved in that politics. Hold your politicians accountable.
So it's the year 2026. What does a revolution look like?
I have no idea. I'm not going to get banned. You're not going to get me suspended on TikTok again or X or whatever. I have no idea what that looks like. I think no matter what it looks like, it's going to be bad for everyone.
Doesn't it have to be?
Yes. When you talk the words revolution or whatever, my mind immediately clicks to war, right? It's people fighting other people, brothers fighting brothers, sisters fighting sisters, right? We're all human beings. All over this planet, we're human beings. I've said it before, I'm not a big fan of the labels, right? I'm straight, I'm gay, I'm this, I'm that, I'm black, I'm white, I don't give a fuck. We're all people, right? And we all should be banding together. When you have a revolution, you have us fighting us, while all the guys behind the steel gates and castle walls are sitting there smiling, going, all right, now we can do whatever the fuck we want. They're distracted.
Revolution. So what does it mean when it's us versus them? That type of revolution.
War is never good for anybody. The guys who fight, the people, I don't want to say guys, the people who fight will suffer immensely. Their families will suffer. Those people will suffer.
Then how do we put an end to the tyranny, the governmental tyranny?
The most civilized way is getting involved in the beginning with local politics, holding your politicians accountable, speak up, hold them accountable for being bought by, lobbyists and being influenced by companies and, doing what's right for them as opposed to doing what's right for their constituents. If they get elected in and they're not playing the game the way you feel they should be playing the game, then they need to be voted out the next cycle. You can't have these politicians that are sitting in office for a lifetime, right? Making $175,000 a year, but within 3 or 4 years, they're millionaires. Like, the math ain't mathing.
Right.
Somebody's lining their pockets. And why are they lining their pockets? To buy their influence, right? it's obvious, but nobody's holding them accountable for it, you know? So that's where it starts. We have to hold people accountable. In our country, most every position is an elected position, but nobody wants to get involved because everybody says, I'm not going to make a difference. Well, if we all say we're not going to make a difference, they get to do whatever the fuck they want. So you have to make a difference. Even if you think your vote doesn't matter, it does. All of our votes matter. We have to hold them accountable. I mean, or else you pick up arms and you start causing mayhem, and that's bad for everybody, and I do not recommend that. But, you know, you do one or the other. If you do nothing, right? If nothing changes, guess what? Nothing changes. Mm-hmm. You have to do something. You can hold them accountable and get involved, or you can pick up arms and start fighting, but people will die. And that's not good for anybody, because it's us, right? All my brothers and sisters and friends and family, that's who's going to die, and I don't want to see any of that happen. Even my enemies, people who I don't care for, I don't want to see them dying. I value difference of opinions. I value, the community not all going in one direction, right? And having one leader say, this is what we're doing, and everybody says, yay, let's do it. That kind of feels Nazi-ish to me, like Nazi Germany. I wasn't alive then, but from the history that I read, that's what it kind of feels like to me, and I don't think that didn't work out so well either. You know?
Weren't?
No, no, man. I was born in the 70s. Okay. So, yeah, that's my take on that. You have to hold your local, start local, hold them accountable, and start working your way up.
Okay, and is it important for the people to come together in some type of way? Maybe
Absolutely. Okay. Stop with the label. Stop trying to stand out and be different.
Well, you already know the media's got us all divided.
Well, again, I go back to
terms.
I go back to that time when I was in Beijing, China, and our handler. Do you remember that story? The handler that we met, that we were talking about some news report, and she said, "Oh, you guys in the U.S., you still watch the news? We don't believe it here. You'll learn someday." And boy, 20 years later, I don't believe anything on the news. Mm-hmm. Anything.
Still think about that, huh?
Yeah.
Why do the ultra wealthy use debt to buy assets, whereas like the middle class and the low class use debt to buy liabilities? What's the difference in that?
A liability to me is something that is a depreciating asset, right? Something that you buy that you can't leverage something else. That's a liability. Is I buy a car because I need to get to work. But I buy a car that's 2 or 3 times more expensive because I'm either showing off or I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses or whatever. But that car depreciates in value, and it over time becomes worthless to the most part. You buy a $100,000 car, in 10 or 15 years, it's probably worth $10,000, right? That's not a good investment, in my opinion, right? So the wealthy will buy assets, right? That are increasing. They buy properties that increase in value. They buy businesses that will generate income. They buy life insurance policies that they can borrow from without being taxed on that income. So there's a bunch of things that they do to manage their money properly while not spending their money on things, assets, or whatever that are depreciating in value that become worthless. Right? Did I answer your question? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's lots of strategies on how you can shelter your money, shelter from taxes, buy stuff that increases in value.
So, are there ways for the lower class and middle class to use debt as assets?
Yes, we've talked about that. I believe that and again, I'm talking on a much smaller scale, but I'll borrow money and manage my interest. So I pay very little to get the asset that I need while keeping my cash, my liquid money, I'll keep that invested where it's making 10, 20, 30, or 40%. 40%'s a lot. Right. That's a good year. But 10 or 20% on an average, where I'm only paying a few percentage on an interest loan that I'm managing the best I can, keeping ahead of it, living well within my means, and making the best of what hand I'm dealt with, Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Indeed.
yeah. So people can do it, but when you start living with keeping up with the Joneses and living it beyond your means, when your lifestyle when far exceeds the amount of income you have, or
Becomes a liability.
or when you're basing your lifestyle on income that you don't have yet, right? That's a scary situation for me. Let's say you plan on bringing home $300,000 or $400,000 this year, and you live within a $300,000 or $400,000 income, but then that $300,000 or $400,000 becomes $100,000, $150,000. Now you've lived outside of your means by 100%, and you're like, what? Now what do I do? That becomes a flip. That you're spending money that you don't have yet, when you should be spending money you do have and planning for the money you're receiving. Like that, the money I'm going to get today, that's what's funding me next year. The money that I have now is what's funding me this year. Live within your means,
What's the difference between investing in stocks versus cryptocurrency, and why is your cryptocurrency so unique amongst all the other cryptos?
Well, the difference between stocks and cryptocurrency is when you're investing in the stock market, you are investing in private companies that have gone public, right? So when you buy a stock, you are actually buying a piece of that company. You're investing in that company. You're an owner in that company. If you invested in Tesla, it doesn't matter what company it is. You invest in a company, and you, over the course of 20 years, you continue to buy stock. And let's say you own a majority share of the stock of that company over time. You, by de facto, are a majority shareholder and can make decisions on that company now. Most of us just are buying little pieces, and that's really a theory. I don't know if that actually happens that way or whatever. I've not been that involved in the stock market, but I mean, I like buying stocks as well as cryptocurrency. I feel like a well-diversified portfolio is the benefit here. We were just talking, I buy stocks that I believe in, right? Companies that I know, companies that I use, so I can keep my finger on the pulse of that company because I'm engaging with them. If I start to see trouble, right? If I start to see shelves not being filled or prices I'm like, oh, what's going on with the company? Because I'm watching the stock, and I start paying attention more, right? Because I know what's going on. I also buy stocks that pay dividends, right? Because the more I accumulate over my lifetime, the more dividends I receive. Right now, I'm currently, since I still have income, my dividends are reinvested in the company. But at some point, the dividends start to become my income. Right? Do you understand? Right? A dividend is if you pull up a stock and you go to dividend yield, it'll tell you like 0.6% or 53% or whatever, right? 0.53%. That's 53 cents a share, or right? You know what I'm saying?
Dividends are basically money that the company rewards you back
for having them. Yeah.
Okay.
So I listen, I have some money in stocks. I buy stocks. I do daily buys. I like the stock market. It has its place. I think why crypto has become so different is because people have been led to believe that in the crypto market, because it's so new, windfalls happen every day. And early on they did for some.
What do you mean you could 10,000x your money?
You can 10,000x, you can 1,000x. Like it's hard to double your money in the stock market in a year. Some people were 100xing their money in crypto in a week. That doesn't seem to happen all the time. There's liquidity issues. There's just a number of things that happen. But I think, again, when we talk about power to the people, there's another major difference there. Crypto is pretty much anonymous and regulated by the people. You have miners and all these independent entities that are running the crypto ecosystem, where you're not relying on the Securities Exchange Commission and the stock market itself. And and the banks with all their rules to tell you what's going to happen, right? So it's power to the people, it's digital, it's global, as opposed to old school,
Right.
lots of regulations, right? Do you understand that
Yes.
it's two totally separate markets?
Crypto's like the Wild West.
Right now it is because it's so early. I mean, we're 10 or 15 years into crypto, and it's still like 1 minute on the life scale of what's going to happen. Like, we are so early that it's the Wild West because people don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Like, there's no regulation. People don't know. There's lots of scammers. There's a lot of stuff going on
Right.
still that needs to be fine tuned. And
Right.
so that's the major difference. And what makes mine different? It's hard. It's hard to say why it's different because 99% of the stuff out there is shit, right?
Right.
99% is the hustle. So me trying to convince you or them or us why it's different may just seem like bullshit, right? But it's not. From what I've seen, I have the only token that has real utility. It's designed and being developed for a purpose to replace and or commingle with a payment system. We are trying to use it as a global currency, so to say, where businesses can exchange labor and or goods and services for work. Right? You're going to be able to get your plane fixed, or have an electrician work on your home, or buy fuel, or whatever business wants to use it. I mean, we designed it as a finance coin, a private aviation finance coin, because that's my business. That's what I'm in. But it can be used for anything, as long as you're willing to accept it. And then when you're willing to accept something for goods and services, then it has value. We currently, right? And it's hard for me to say all this because we are dealing with like the worst bear market that we've ever seen in crypto. Just last week, there was the highest liquidation in history in the crypto markets, the stock market.
True.
I don't want to say they crashed, but everybody took a freaking hit, right? It was rough. If you're looking at your numbers, you're like, what the fuck is going on? It was scary, But like I've said, when I see that, when people are being fearful and selling, I buy. I bought stock. I bought Bitcoin. I bought CINO token. I bought, what else did I buy? I bought MicroStrategies, right?
Yeah.
I bought some stock in that. And within an hour, I started to turn a profit. It's not a lot of profit, but it's a profit, right? When we were talking earlier about, I'm not making that much. You're still making. It's not that much, but if you have not that much from here and not that much from here and not that much from here and not that much from here, it starts to accumulate and become much.
Right.
Right? Not that much, starts to accumulate and become much. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I try to spread my diversity out. I try to, when one suffers, the other two or three win. Right? And you just kind of just get invested in everything, and I'm doing okay, right? I mean, am I windfalling every day? No. But I showed you the stock account, right? It's
Yeah.
all in the green.
Looks pretty
Showed
good.
you my cryptos accounts. They're all in the positive. Like you just got to make the right moves. You can't. Do you remember when we started CINO? Solana was trading at like $125
Yep.
a token, right? And then when we hit like 20 cents or whatever it was, 23 cents, Solana was trading almost close to 300.
It was up there.
It was way high, and
Yeah.
like things were good, and people were like, "Oh, Bitcoin's doing great, Solana's doing great, CINO's pumping," right? All that happened, and then we crested, right? And we started to enter that bear market. Bitcoin started coming down, CINO dropped, right? People started liquidating. Solana's trading at like $60 right now.
It's pretty low.
It's low, and so nobody, right? When things are doing bad, Nobody's talking about crypto right now, right? Nobody wants to talk about crypto and, oh, you should do it and this and that. Now is the time that you should be doing it.
Buying.
Yeah. Now is the time that you should be investing, because when
the next
that bull run starts,
right.
By the time people are talking about it and saying, hey, you should do this, look how much I made, you're already behind the eight ball.
Right.
You want to buy it when people are being fearful. That's when you want to be greedy, right? It's the greed fear index. Like you have to take the emotions out of investing and look at it strategically, right? We always say, right, buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
This is the lowest point. Why are you not buying?
What creates bull runs?
It's consumer investment. It's an influx of capital into the crypto market. It's not even that. In investing in the stock market, we all have the bull and bear runs. Like it happens, But with crypto, it's not like you can. And I've said this before. It's not with crypto. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, what's Ryan going to do to make the token go up?" I'm building infrastructure. I'm building the app. I built the peer-to-peer marketplace where you can trade crypto without affecting the decentralized exchange.
Yeah.
We're partnering up with Spud to get on that stablecoin thing. So we'll have stablecoin. We'll have peer-to-peer network. We have the Solana network token. I'm doing all these things. But consumers' investment, right? Widespread influx of capital is what drives the price up. Cryptocurrency is based on supply and demand 100% all the time. I can sit here and say, oh, CINO Token developed a new app. It's going to generate X amount of dollars for CINO Aviation Solutions. It's going to do that. That's not going to affect the price of the token unless people are investing long term. If you're thinking that you're going to invest $100 today and make $1,000 tomorrow and sell out and whatever, like all you're doing is just keeping the price down. You're not helping the company grow. We put 3 cinder blocks up to build a foundation, and you take 6 out. Like, and then you're sitting there yelling at me, how come you're not doing anything?
Right.
We are doing a lot to make the token easier to use in the business setting.
Yeah. So basically you're building the foundation during a bear market.
Right.
This way, now when the next bull cycle comes,
we're gonna
be all prepared.
It should, right? Theoretically, when you look at it strategically, we should be all prepared, right? When right now everybody's selling, liquidating, putting their money in gold and all this other shit, we're still over here building. Right? We're building. We're putting our capital into this project. So when we do have the bull cycle, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. When we do have the bull run, we're already there. We're gonna start as soon as the chart starts to spike. We're gonna start seeing returns already. We're gonna start seeing influx. We're gonna start seeing it.
It's just a matter of also Solana going up, right?
Well, that helps. That helps. I mean, when you saw Solana was at 70. And then it would drop down to 62 or whatever, you saw every sell on the CINO chart was pretty big. But then as Solana started going back up, you saw a $1 buy would affect the chart drastically because you have that much more Solana power behind it. So
I see.
Solana definitely is a supporting character of CINO token and all the other Solana-based tokens. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're getting fast. Solana's getting faster. It's getting cheaper. The peer-to-peer marketplace is awesome. We did a little change into the structure of the app. So we're doing another test today on the peer-to-peer network to make sure that flows. Nothing got changed and it still flows. All week I've been working on the one-click buy with the developers. We're having a hard time. There seems to be a breakdown in the API of Stripe. The on-ramper for dollars and then the switch. There's a breakdown somewhere in there, and we're having a hard time figuring that out. But we're working on it every day. We keep trying and trying to make it one. One of my goals is to make it easy for people who don't understand crypto 100%. I don't want them to have to swap. Right? What does that mean? What am I swap? What am I buying? What am I? I don't. Yeah. Right? I want to open this app. I want to click buy. I want to click CINO. I want to put my email address in. I want to put my credit card information in, and I want to buy CINO. I don't want to have to do all that other shit because there's some people out there who don't understand it.
Yeah.
And if they don't understand it, they're out.
And it's suspicious to
And
them.
it feels suspicious and so, right? People are used to buying something. When you say, oh, you got to do this, but then you got to do this, and then you got to have to do that, and then you got to swap for this, and fuck, get out of here. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
We're trying to make this process easier, right?
I see.
So as soon as we get that licked, then we're going to start working on the invoice portion. That's very important, and I want to. I think I'm going to have a meeting actually today after we're done with this, with the developers to start integrating an invoice option where somebody who is requesting a payment in CINO can say, "Hey, here's your invoice. This is what it's for," and then you'll get that invoice and you can pay with CINO, and then that person will see that you paid with CINO and you both have a receipt. Something very simple.
I see.
So that's the next infrastructure build that we're working on.
I see.
Yeah. So I mean, we're constantly moving forward. We're constantly doing things. I like to talk about it here, but I don't feel like I want to just keep talking about it on social media. I don't feel like I want to show everybody what my hands are. I don't want to let everybody in. Right? I don't need to run my business with everybody criticizing what I'm doing. Right? And I don't criticizing is not the right word. Just being vocal about it. I just want to focus on building the infrastructure instead of
behind the scenes and constantly putting on a performance,
exactly,
so to speak.
Exactly.
Just to reduce your anxiety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have to say that this bear market that we've been in, the drop in the token, the theft that I have that was back in December, like it's really beating me up, man. Like I'm not sleeping well. I'm only sleeping 3 hours a night. I can feel my anxiety building, but I'm not quitting. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to. I'll find
legacy for a reason.
Yeah. I never thought this would be easy, this journey, but I never realized it would be this difficult. When you're in the crypto space and you sit there on one of the sites like Pump Fund and you just buy and sell and you're looking for that quick hit, there's somebody behind these projects, the good ones, that have put thousands of hours of blood, sweat, and tears and anxiety and whatever, and that day trading activity. Oh, it could ruin you. It could emotionally ruin you. So, but you just you can't control it, so you have to just focus on what you can control and keep building your project and believing in your dreams and go for it.
How much does it cost to maintain a Gulf Stream every year, and where does that money go?
I would have to say roughly, it all depends on flight hours, how much you're using the airplane, but probably anywhere from $1.5 to $4 million a year. And that goes in salaries, fuel, operational costs, maintenance. Yeah, I mean, you could break it. That's pretty much it. Operational costs, maintenance. Maintenance is the big one, right? You always cost to pay. You always have to pay to maintain it because there's no pulling over in the sky. We can't have stuff breaking really bad. So, but yeah, anywhere from $1.5 million to $4 million a year.
What's the craziest shit you've seen a billionaire do with a jet?
I don't know if it's crazy. It's just kind of normal. But I've seen an airplane fly across the country to pick up a bag.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a bag?
Yeah, a bag that was left behind.
What was in the bag?
I don't know. It's a bag. Like I've seen an airplane. I've seen an airplane come back to Teterboro to pick up an animal, a dog.
Oh, wow. From where? Was it across the country?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But still, you're looking at, if you're talking a Gulfstream, you're talking about $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 an hour to operate the airplane. And it brought people somewhere, and then it came back to get a dog.
Whoa.
And then they left and brought up the dog wherever. Like, so it's just, but it's all about, you know, and I don't want to even say that that's crazy.
To normal people, it is.
It's not, because
Everyday people.
it's all about time management.
So, like, let's talk about the millionaire, billionaire life, right? These
Yeah.
people fly private all the time.
Yep.
What does it cost them an hour to fly private? Well, like, what's the kind of money that goes into a lifestyle like that?
Let's just say it costs $5,000, averaging, right? There's some smaller airplanes that are cheaper, and there's some larger airplanes that are much bigger, you know, but let's just say $5,000 to $6,000 an hour, a flight hour, you know. Then there's, you know, there's a little bit of block time, and then depending on where you're going, are you chartering the airplane, or do you own the airplane? You know, so then you're paying ramp fees. If you own it, you're paying ramp fees and storage and all that kind of stuff. If you're chartering, do you want the airplane to wait for you, or can the airplane go do other trips before you're done with your vacation or your business meeting? Can it come back and get you? If you want it to stay, you're paying 4 hours a day for it to sit there. You know, there's tons and tons of what ifs and oh, well, that's this and that's that. And, you know, do you want a full spread of catering? You know, you can spend $3,000 or $4,000 on food for a 2-hour flight. You know, but there's also people out there who I'll bring something with me. I'll grab Chick-fil-A and I'll bring it on the plane with me. You know, because that's not they're not putting on a show, or they're not they don't need that, or they don't have a big meeting, or it's all, you know, it's all individual preference. It all what matters for that trip. You know what I mean?
I see.
It's very personalized. It's very catered to you and your specific situation that day.
But at the very least, you're spending thousands.
Yeah. Yes. But it's also time management. I mean, you know, I just traveled to Europe, you know, and I have to leave my house 3 hours before an international flight to get to the airport, to get through security, to wait for the flight. My flight's delayed. There's a maintenance issue. I'm sitting, you know, and I got to wait a little bit longer. Then, you know, then we get on the plane, and then there's a long taxi out, and then we got to wait for every other airliner to take off at that time. And then we get there. Then what if we got there a little early or a little late, and now there's a gate not available? Now we're sitting in the airplane waiting for a gate. Private, you pull up in your car, you walk through the terminal. From the time you get out of your car, theoretically, you can be on your plane in 15 minutes, engine starting and taxiing out. And your pilots know your needs. Your flight attendant knows what you require for that flight. Your bags never leave your sight. They're with you the whole time. There's no lost baggage. And when you land, there's a car outside the airplane waiting for you to get in and off to where you're going. Yeah. So this private flying, in my 25 years of aviation experience, is all about time management. Our most valuable commodity is time. So if you can, you know, if you have 20 hours of work to do or 30 hours of work to do, and you can manage your time where you're doing it in a 10-hour period, you're obviously making money doing that. So why should you not spend some of that money to manage that time as best as possible, right? It's private aviation is literally the best thing, the closest thing to a time machine that we're ever going to see.
Mm-hmm. Right. Unless we had teleporters, obviously.
Well, we don't have that. So as of right now, private aviation is the closest thing to a time machine that you have.
So you've been a private aviation mechanic for 25 years. Yeah. How many billionaires have you met, and how do the billionaires differ from just everyday people?
A lot. I've met a lot of people from from millionaires to billionaires to a lot. I don't even know. 25 years. How many people have you met in 25 years? Lots of people. And most of the billionaires, you would have no idea they're billionaires.
How so?
It's because they're not flaunting their money. They're not driving the exotic supercars. They're not wearing, the designer clothes. They're not carrying around Louis. They're not doing any of that stuff because that's not important. They've gotten to the point in life where they realize what's important, right? Legacy, 100-year generational wealth. Like that's the important thing. Showing off for somebody, they know who they are already. They don't need to advertise what's going on. It's the sub-millionaires and the millionaires who want you to think they're billionaires or want you to think they got something. Those are the people that the flashy guys. Yeah. You really don't got it, man.
Yeah.
You're really not doing it.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. I've been on an airplane with, I'm going to say, a few young men who are personally very wealthy and come from very, very wealthy families. And if I didn't know them, I did not know who they were, half of them look homeless because it doesn't matter. What I think about them or their appearance doesn't matter.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Listen, I'm sure if they're trying to make impressions and they're trying to, of course, they dress to the nines, do whatever you got to do, right? Make the impression. But when you're flying private like that, I get to see that social standing in their most comfortable state.
How are they intellectually?
Sharp.
Yeah.
Sharp. Yeah.
Is everything about money to them?
No. I mean, on a low level, yes, they're very aware. It's really the most important thing appears to be time management. How fast can I do this or can I do that? I'm trying to cram, 30 hours of shit into a 10-hour day.
Do they seem happy?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. When in all the situations, well, I can't say all of them. Yes. Most of them seem very happy when they're around family. Mm-hmm. In my experience, family and being around the people you love is probably the most important thing in life.
Yeah.
I got to say, and many of us take that for granted. So
for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it's, as you get older, like I told you before, like, when I was younger, I thought the stuff was important, right? I need the big house. I need the cars. I need the motorcycles. I need the flashy jewelry. I need the watches, right? I need the dope sneakers. I need all this shit. And as you get older, you're like, it's just fucking stuff. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean shit, like it's dumb, But now you take some wealthy people who collect watches. Do you think they're collecting watches so they can wear a watch and be like, yo, look at my watch?
Probably not.
Definitely not. You buy a watch, $10,000 today, $20,000 today. What's that thing worth in 30 years?
Not that.
More.
Yeah.
More. Way more. Way more. So, a perfect example of that. Do you remember the Lamborghini Countach that was shown in that movie, The Cannonball Run? Right. It was also the white Lamborghini that was in The Wolf of Wall Street that he wound up crashing. Remember that style car, right?
Yes.
It was. So that car was, it was a few $100,000 when it was new, right, in the 80s. And I want to say the early 2000s, that car had depreciated in value to the point where you could probably get one for $75,000, $80,000. When a rare asset, right, because they only make a certain amount of them, when that rare asset goes from a new 200, 300,000, and then it hits that market where the regular guy
could afford it.
That's the point where you have to sit and watch and say, watch what's going to happen in the next 5 years. 10 years.
Value.
Because the regular guy starts buying these things, but they don't have the resources to maintain them the way they need to be maintained. They're driven on racetracks. They're daily drivers. And they get destroyed to the point of where they start disappearing from existence. And now the ones that are left, 500,000, 600,000, 700,000, 800,000. So do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
They're not buying these cars because they want to show off. They're buying these cars because I'm going to keep this thing. It's rare as it is. I have one of one. I have one of six. In 10 years, that's going to be awesome.
Wow.
That's going to be, I'm going to make money on that.
Yeah.
I heard of a story who has an old Ferrari. He used to be local in New Jersey, local to northwestern New Jersey. And he had I forget the model. I mean, I know it, but I don't want to advertise in case somebody knows. But it was there was 3 left in the world. Ferrari had 1 and he had 2.
Mm.
One was wrecked,
Yeah.
one was restored, and Ferrari had the other one. And every year, the value of that car was going up by millions. And I remember the stories I heard of, obviously, he was getting offered, 15 million, 16 million, 17 million. And he was like, nah. The money I'm going to have to pay in taxes on the sale, I don't want to deal with it. I'll give you the tax money too. Nah. You see, it's so rare that the price keeps going up. So that's the difference. Those guys are not investing in cars and stuff like that because, they want to drive that car around. But I think he does. I think he did at one point. He was driving on the racetrack or whatever, just having fun with it. But still, can you imagine?
Nah, that's fucking nuts, dude.
Right? I look at cars and I'm like, that's a depreciating asset. They just 30% off the lot, whatever. But I'm not buying one of one.
Right.
Yep.
I'm
not at that point, and I don't have that desire. But you could do it.
Mm-hmm.
You could buy.
It's the same with Pokemon cards if you think about it.
If there's somebody who wants it, and they become rare.
Yeah.
Right. The rarity is what drives the demand.
Right.
Right. So it's supply and demand. Supply goes down, demand goes up.
Yep.
Same thing with cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So.
I see.
Yeah. So I don't know. Did I answer your question? Yeah. I know we went off on a little bit of a tangent. But,
yeah, we always do.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's necessary.
It's all right.
It's necessary. So what's going on in Wall Street?
Everybody seems to be talking about this SpaceX IPO, and then if it goes through and Elon's going to be the first trillionaire or whatever, and I got to say, from
what does that mean? SpaceX ISO. Explain
IPO.
That.
IPO is an initial public offering. SpaceX is now going public, where you and me and everybody else can buy a piece of that company.
Whereas right now we can't.
We cannot. Yeah, he owns it 100%, but he's looking to generate money. So you do this. They issue stocks, and a brokerage house is going to give him a shitload of money in terms for shares, and then the brokerage house is going to sell the shares and hopefully make their money back and then some on that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I got my order in for SpaceX. I personally believe in Elon Musk. I think he's done crazy things. He's a genius of all genius to rival, the great minds in history. I think he's awesome. I think as an engineer, he's the top dog. You know what I mean? And I think he's going to do amazing things, and I want to be part of it. If I can, I want to be part of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully he makes me rich. Who knows? Who knows? If not, listen, it is what it is. You got to take a risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of people are saying that the valuation is too high, that there's not going to be enough left on the table for the me's and you's. That the way that it's all structured, there's not enough left for the stock price to really take off.
Right.
I don't know. When you start colonizing the moon and supplies start going back and forth on his ships, and the Starlink satellites start becoming data centers because of whatever what do you think's going to happen? Who's going to compete with that? We're dealing with somebody. It's not like it's not like I can say, oh, I'm going to do a side hustle and fucking launch rockets into space, to compete with nobody can compete.
Right.
There's some people that can compete. I don't know, man. I think he's got it nailed down. The guy's catching rockets in midair from orbit. I can't compete with you, bro. I'm gonna get you behind you. I'll help you.
Yeah.
I support you. I can't compete with that. So if you can't join him, if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
So I'm in on Elon.
Shit.
Yeah. I don't own a Tesla, but I believe in Tesla. Yeah, I made a ton of money on Tesla. I buy some stock. I just let it sit. Stock split a couple times. I'm up on Tesla, and I still want to buy one. I don't know if it's going to work for me with my commute that I do in wintertime. I'm just not sure. So, but I really want the full service drive.
When do you rent one? Yeah, that could.
I want the self drive because I want to be able to maximize my time in the car. Do I want the Optimus robot? Yes, I want a fleet of them. I want to buy one every 2 months. I want to teach him to fix airplanes. I want him to mow my grass and take care of the dogs and clean the house.
Shit, fixing airplanes?
Yeah. If not fix them, help me fix them.
Yeah.
Go get me a ladder, get me a rag, go do this, get that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like having duplicates of me.
Yeah.
And I teach one something, and every other one I buy, it just transfers the memory over,
Yeah. I've been seeing videos of them handling glass
and how is it?
It's kind of crazy. They're just they move so slow when it comes to glassware.
Yeah.
Just seeing the robots in people's houses, it's just gives me an anxiety attack.
I am
though,
all in, man. If I can buy one every 2 months, that's my plan.
Yeah.
Yep. I am going to have those things do all the mundane tasks I don't want to do because I'm trying to maximize my time.
Yeah.
Right? That's my most valuable commodity. Indeed. It's the most important thing to me is my time. Indeed. The absolute most. Mm-hmm. And I can't surround myself with time vampires, people who just suck the energy out of you, just take all. Yeah, I can't not do that because I'm so focused on time.
Yeah. Indeed.
So yeah, and if he's creating products that can help me with my time management, I am all in.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am all in.
Okay.
Yeah. And you guys really need to think about that, about time being your most valuable commodity. Because if you have the time, if you manage your time well and you have excess time, you can do anything. Right? You can spend that time on making more money or being a better parent or being a better you time is the basis of everything.
Yeah.
Because we all have a limited amount. Nobody makes it out of this alive, right?
Yeah.
Nobody.
And you can't get any back.
You can't get any back, and how many of us when we were young wasted it?
Yeah.
Right? Wasted it. How many of you wasted sitting in front of the TV doing nothing? How many of you wasted oversleeping? How many of you wasted, just fucking wasted?
I know.
I cannot get behind that. Oh, listen, do I waste time? Of course. We all do. Mm-hmm. But I don't waste a lot of it. It's the most valuable thing to me, to all of us. You just have to get to the point where you're realizing it.
All right. So any updates on the CINO app?
No real updates other than it's available on Google Store and Google Play and Apple Store. It's working. You still have to swap Solana for CINO, but we are working on the one-click buy daily. We keep trying and testing different things. The peer-to-peer marketplace is up. Mm-hmm. I want you guys to use it. Download the app. It's free. Download it. Create your wallet. You can transfer tokens in there. It'll deal with any Solana token. If you do use it, I need you to really, really copy down your seed phrase and save that. That's the only way back in.
My advice is to screenshot it and email it to yourself so you always have it.
Yep, that'd be great. Unless somebody hacks your email.
Okay, yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, so if you guys have a safe at the house or write it down, take a pic, do something and put it somewhere safe. But the seed phrase, when it comes to crypto wallets, is the most important thing you can do. Please don't take that as don't take it lightly. Copy down your seed phrase. And if you're a CINO holder and you need to sell or whatever, please use the marketplace. Stop Stop affecting the decentralized exchange. There's people out there who are buying daily.
Yeah.
There's people out there who are selling daily. Work together. Please work together. Like, help me help you. Help me build this project. Stop taking away my foundation and making me start over. Like, I take, 2 steps forward, I take 4 steps back. Help. We're supposed to be a community. We're supposed to be working together. Help me. Use the app. I'm creating the tools to make this easier for all of us, to help us make generational wealth and to spread my legacy. Like, I'm trying so hard to make this work. I need you guys to help me do it. Like, I can't do it all on my own. I need you guys to tell people about CINO, tell people about the vision, tell people about what it's for. Whether you believe in it or not, that it's a great investment, that's kind of irrelevant. Let people decide for themselves if this is something they want to get behind.
And you're the creator. You're putting your face out there.
I mean, I am. I'm still here. I'm still doing it every day.
Realistically, I think what we really need is just one single billionaire to get behind the idea. That's literally what we need.
Right.
That would be fucking awesome.
Right. But, I've reached out, like all the name brand guys that I see at the airport, I reached out to Shaq. I reached out, but Dave Portney, who's a big crypto, I've reached out to all these guys. They either don't answer or they want huge amounts of money to get behind it. And I'm like, come on, man.
Damn.
Just get behind it. Like, just come on. It's a good project. Learn some more. Ask me some questions, or have somebody on your staff get in touch with me. If so, we'll
find the right person.
We'll find the right person. We just gotta keep going. It's got to become a household name. And that's what I'm trying to do, more advertising, more networking, more social media. I'm doing it all, trying to do it all. If you are a project owner, a project developer, and you like the peer-to-peer marketplace, reach out to me. We can make it work for you. We can definitely offer that service to you guys, and that'll also help CINO. All those proceeds back to CINO. Right, I'm not, and I mean CINO the project, not CINO the me.
Yeah,
I'm not looking for any of that right now. I am totally fine where I'm at. I'm good. All my bills are paid. I'm investing in myself. My plan is still working fine. We're building the app. We're building the project. We're building CINO Aviation Solutions to take this to the moon. So, if you guys are interested, reach out. I got to say, there was a guy who invested. He reached out to me on TikTok just recently, and he's one of the guys who got in at 20 cents. Oh. And he had some really kind words. He says, "You warned us. You told us that we should be at 1 cent, but everybody followed the hype. Now they're complaining."
Yeah.
He goes, "I believe in your project. I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing. I'm still investing. I'm still holding. Keep up the good work." And I was like, man, thank you so much. It's hard. It's hard to stay positive when everybody around you is screaming failure. Mm-hmm. It makes you want to be like, fuck this. What do I need this for?
Yeah.
I can't quit.
Damn,
I can't do it.
Say that.
Yeah, no, it was nice. I thank you for kind words. This is great. Anybody out there have anything to offer? Any suggestions? Do you want to be on the podcast? Please reach out to us. We are open book. We're here. You have questions, you have comments, bring them on. I'm here. I'm here.
Absolutely.
So reach out to us, www.cinotoken.com. You can contact us there. You can contact us on socials, TikTok and YouTube, and spread that stuff, Make comment. If you're a watcher, if you're a dedicated watcher, comments help drive the views up. The views bring income in. Mm-hmm. The income goes back into the project. Help me help you.
Yes.
Help me help you. So indeed. I appreciate all your time. Thank you for watching. Michael, thank you again for being here and hosting this lovely show.
It is lovely.
It is lovely. So, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Like, subscribe, and comment.
Do your outro. Come on, man. Do your outro.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the CINO Legacy Podcast.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yep.